So the differences between male and female brain and their effects on relationship. So many research are done on male and female brains, and the MRI scans has shown these differences, which these differences can affect on females and males' behavior and how they react in relationships, how they communicate, how to approach and resolve the conflicts. It can affect on all these sides of the relationship. So if you look at the brain structure and the functions, the male brain is 10% larger than female brain. But it doesn't mean that male have a higher IQ. The research has done and show that there is no difference between IQ between male and females, and male uses more gray matter, and it's in areas which has more for sensory processing and motor control, but female they use more gray matters for the areas which is limbic areas and the areas which facilitate faster communication. So, and in some cases, even the female brain is more efficient in some areas, and male brain also more efficient in other areas. For example, one difference is male can focus deeply on single tasks. So we know, for example, we have heard that male are hunters. So because in the past they used to go for hunting, and it really needs the skill to focus well on one task. They are like better in like doing a single task, and while female are better at multitasking and emotional engagement. So what is the relational impact of these on the relationship? So these differences can bring misunderstanding. So if I want to bring an example is imagine a male, for example, at house trying to fix something or focus on his job. And if he is interrupted by the lady, like over and over, so he becomes frustrated because he just want to focus deeply on a task. While the female, might feel, oh, she needs some connection. For example, she has been at house um, long, and now the man coming home, so she needs some emotional connection. But for the man, it's so normal if he's like busy with a job or things, just focus on that, and kind of the female feels she is ignored. And the other things is like, for example, female is good at multitasking. Imagine like she might expect the same from a man and say, oh, he's just, watching TV, and he ignores what the children wants or doing and what's happening around the house, while female can focus on different things and shift attention quickly. So this can cause misunderstandings. Okay, so. And the other difference is in hippocampus and amygdala part of the brain. And the hippocampus is the memory part of the brain. And we know for female it's larger, which aids that they have kind of more better memory and also better emotional regulation, which means like they can remember things in more details. Uh, and while male have a larger amygdala, which makes them quickly like get emotional and like especially anger and fear. It's harder for them to kind of control that. So what is the impact of this like on the relationship? So we have seen like, women recall past events in the details, while I'm sure you have seen that the males say, oh, I can't remember. Or when arguments happen, women bring like the past arguments into the picture and the man feels frustrated with that and can't remember the details. And this is like makes like the arguments more complex and harder to resolve. So like female should like be careful with that, and all like every time they do an argument with a man or something, for example, if they are sad with something, they should focus on just the thing that is more important for them and is current rather than linking to the past events. But that's because the women like brain has more kind of uh, brain cells and links between the memories, and it's easier for her to recollect everything. And the other difference is like the connection, like for the male brain, it's the connections, it has more connection from front to the back. So they are better on focusing on, as I said, one task and at perception, which is like, for example, especially visual perception. For example, if there is a distance, the man usually can, like in driving, they might be better because they can have a like better kind of visual perception and quickly act based on that. So while a female brain has more connections between frontal, between two lobes, which is the left side of the brain and right side of the brain. There is like a bridge between left and right side of the brain, which is called corpus callosum. And this is like for women, it's this bridge is has more cells and it is much stronger. So women can shift from emotions to like logical things quicker and can do multitasking, and they can integrate emotion, adult information with logical information. But for men, this shift takes time. So this is also has like an impact on the like men and women kind of problem solving. Um, the example might be like, for example, imagine a man has done a lot of logical tasks during the day, and it might be hard for him to come to the emotional part, and if especially his mind is busy with problem solving. So when a woman talks about like her emotions and like wants to bring men more into kind of the emotional side of things and connect emotionally and be intimate, it might be hard for a man if it's especially he's stressed or he wanna resolve something and he's in more logical. But for a woman, like it's much easier like to do that and shift between emotions to logical and then comes back. So if we know this like difference, then this helps us to like give some time to men or understand them if they are, for example, stressed out or like they are very busy like in a project or something. We can understand that it might take time for them to shift to that emotional parts. And so about emotional processing, The prefrontal cortex, which is in front of the brain, and this is the it's much bigger actually in human than animals, and it does many different tasks. And for the male brain, this prefrontal cortex is less active. So the MRI scan shows less activity in this part. And one of the tasks of prefrontal cortex is inhibition, means they stop like people from doing impulsive tasks. Like, for example, drinking alcohol, doing things which is more dangerous and risky. So it needs all of these needs inhibition. So for men, it's harder to control these impulses. So usually women are better, much better than controlling impulses. So that is one of the reasons we see like in prisons, like more men doing crimes, and also we see men more involved in drinking, in risky driving, in risky sex, and all the things which needs impulsive control. So, and for female, it's the system is more active, which we say, okay, women are emotional. That the reason is the limbic system is related to the emotions and emotion processing. So this increases women empathy and emotional awareness. So what's the impact on the relationship? So as like everyone knows, we see more women on the roles which needs looking after others and also kind of, if you see like for example in the roles which are nurses, like teachers, and the looking after children, we see women more because these roles need more empathy and emotional awareness. What is the risk? The risk is women like become burnout because they put sometimes everyone else in front of themselves and they forget to look after themselves. And the other difference is like in intuition and social skills. And women are better at intuition and social cognition. This is also again related to prefrontal cortex. So female are stronger. And men are stronger in a spatial task and localized problem solving. So when something happens, usually women like use many different details from the past experience and now, and they link everything together, and that causes that their anxiety increases, and it's like they elevate in anxiety and depression. So we see more like cases of women who have anxiety and depression, and but male, they usually when they have one problem, they just localize that, so they don't extend that to like past and future, and treat that more locally, which because of that they experience less kind of anxiety and stress in this case. So what's the impact on the relationship? So about intuition, so the women got feeling and intuition because it's a strong. I think it's important men know that when they wanna do something, they always like ask women also what's the women feeling, because women can sense things in advance. And for example, if they want to buy something, purchase something, or sell, or relationship with others, it's always good to kind of ask the idea of the female. So because it's usually they can also get the help of their intuition. And the other things that male should know about women in this case is that try not to tell lie to women, because women, they have a good intuition to sensing when the men tell truths and tell lies. And even like in a dreams they can see things, or like it's usually much easier for women to detect lies. And so that's also important, like in a relationship, knowing this difference. And about the stress response, so usually male are like quieter when they are under stress. So because they, as I said, they prefer to just usually internally process that, and also focus on one thing. But female brain gets really busy under the stress, and they connect the problems together. So this can impact also the relationship, because usually in under stress, men prefer like to resolve it like in more quiet space, but while women tend to like bring the issue, connect the issues together, talk about it, and they usually resolve things better. So the communication styles, this is also like um, because of the brain differences, they have different also communication styles. Female, the language area of the brain is stronger in female, and they, research shows they speak much more during the day than men, and they have excellent verbal expression, and like they can emotionally express themselves. But male, usually they are strong in like the, as I said previously, like just task oriented communication. So they prefer like kind of shorter communication and to the point communication. So what is like this causing on a relationship? The impact is, imagine something happens, and or even after a long day, a male and female start talking about their problems, or they want to discuss things. Women usually go to more in details, which becomes boring for a man. Or even when something happens, like a female bring so many things into the table again and express emotions and everything. But for a male, that can be like just, boring, time consuming, not to the point, and even frustrating. So knowing these differences like help like female to, when like talk with a male, try to kind of be more into the point, and for the male, they also show more patience and kind of listening to a woman. And the next things would be like on conflict resolution. So male prefer like a quick solution to resolve a conflict, and like a practical things. But female like needs more like emotional kind of validation and more going to the details, as we said. So in relationship, it can affect on like kind of women, especially they think they are not receiving enough emotional validation. If the man wants to quickly resolve the things and say, oh, nothing happened, you're making a big deal out of it, or I'm tired now, or things like that, it makes a female frustrated, because she needs to go through a bit of more details and make sure his man understand her and give him some kind of validation and emotional approval. So as we said, like female are better like an integrating multiple tasks and emotions at the same time, and male are better on focusing one problem at a time. And about emotional expression, male show emotions usually through actions and problem solving. And this is again related to the brain, because as we said, like the parts which for men is about like the motor skills, those parts are more active. So men are more action oriented and more focused onto the point, but female are more into express their emotion verbally and empathically. So again, that can lead to misunderstanding, similar as what we mentioned before. So, and strengths and challenges in relationships. So, if we wanna like summarize kind of what are the strengths of men and the challenges, would be male are more practical. They have more spatial awareness, focused problem solving, while female have more empathy, emotional intelligence, and they are good at multitasking. So the challenges is male usually they suppress their emotions and they can be impulsive, and female they can overthink things and like they might experience emotional burnout. So as you see, it comes these differences comes with its own benefits and also drawbacks. So if you want to like come to a conclusion, it would be understanding the differences help, female and male, they can empathize and improve their communications. And they should know that these like differences are complementary. So they each one have their unique strengths and they can bring it to the relationship and they can complete each other. So appreciating the differences, they can improve the emotional bonds between male and female. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this. I turn on the recording now and start questions. So okay, stop recording.